Oh, happy day, our dear friends. Evolutionary Energy Arts family, EEARTS family, Hearts, OMMM family. How are you guys today? I did it again.
She did, and we did this one yesterday as a Patreon exclusive. And we do want to thank our newest Patreons for their support, as we did have quite a few join the family.
We do want to say a huge thank you to FTWR, Paris, Philip, Laxman, Hema, and Angie. You guys, really, thank you so much. This helps a great deal.
Absolutely, and exclusive videos go up there several times each week. That was one that kind of did a lot of info in a small little amount. Well, an hour, a little bit over an hour. Okay, so this is a tweet from Zeta Talk. Now, we're very aware of Zeta Talk and their talk about Nibiru Planet X, been ongoing for a long time. This is their followers. Nibiru is real, absolutely. Oh, Nibiru is real. That was an interesting little slip there in some ways. Yeah, wow. I guess I haven't had all my coffee yet, and some interesting little slips are coming out. Well, there's other interesting things going on as well, and as you can see here, there's a list of water main breaks. Yeah, I thought this was really really because of where we are, because I totally expect there's going to be big, giant quakes, really significant quakes in a very short amount of time. Pittsburgh here. Now, water main breaks can happen, obviously, especially in the spring when the ground's going from freezing to warm, and all the changes going on. But there's just so many of them that seem to be coinciding, and so many other things that are going on at the same time. So this is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is Parsippany in New Jersey. Another one. A lot of them are just simply, hey, traffic alert. There's a water main break, and you're not going to be able to get to work if you go that way. That type of deal. As you see over here, Westchester. This is again New York. In White Plains, downtown water main break. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, giving you alternative routing because there's a water main break over there. Jackson, Mississippi, same thing, boil water because a water main break. This is another one, West Seattle, a water main break has flooded a playground. Over here, we have a water line break in Moyi. This is also up in Washington State. And then Cannon Beach. There's just all these water main breaks. Colonial Park Mall closed, on-site water main break. This is in Pennsylvania, Harrisburg area. Port Arthur over in Texas. As we see, this is all over the country. In warmer climates and in colder climates. The other thing we see is a lot of sinkholes. This is a giant sinkhole in Rome that ate 2 cars. I must be hungry. Yeah, this one over here is East Providence, Rhode Island, another big sinkhole appearing. There's been curious quakes, too, in curious areas. And then this is in China, and the whole floor in a store collapses, and a woman is just swallowed up by it. She's just walking along doing her shopping, perusing clothes. Oh, that's not something you expect. Maybe China and the construction practices, I don't know, but still, it's all pretty interesting. Of course, we still have the swarm going on over in Iceland. Ground deformation continues. There's a lot of volcanic activity that's been going on. We did have a 7.1 M-class flare. Again, they say it doesn't appear that a CME is going to be associated with this event. But, we've seen that so many times, and all of a sudden, something happens and the KP goes up to a high level. we were just at KP index of 8. So when you look at what's coming to face us, you see 3615 is the most active zone, and that's heading towards being dead on facing us. Over here in Russia, in the far east of Russia, the sky turned kind of an orangey color from a very, very severe dust storm in Mongolia that blew so much dust into the air. They were warning people to cover their mouths and nose, don't inhale it, could be irritating, basically put a mask on of some sort. Just interesting times. Extreme weather events are abounding. And, when you have one emergency or one strange, odd event, it's one thing. But when you see patterns, that's something a little different. Puerto Rico declares an epidemic after dengue cases spike. I wonder if that Gil Bates guy released any in Puerto Rico. I don't remember reading Puerto Rico, but for sure it was in Texas, Florida, and in other locations. As we were talking about, he's got factories in South America that are making millions of these each day. Genetically modified little ouchers with their little needle-like protuberances. Yeah. So dengue fever in Puerto Rico. 549 cases from the start of the year, 341 hospitalizations, 29 severe cases. So it is something that happens that, over the course of decades. Yes, you see these types of situations happen. It's just a matter that it just seems like so many things are happening at the same time. And how about planes? This was a plane crash that many sources are reporting on that didn't happen, thankfully, but it was really close to a mid-air collision. Are these people thinking clearly? What's going on? Who's falling asleep when it comes to airplane maintenance? One of them was a Boeing 777, and the other one's a Boeing 737 MAX. They almost collided at 37,000 feet over the Horn of Africa and had to take very, very quick maneuvers to avoid the collision. Certainly seems like somebody doesn't want people flying.
I know. This just keeps happening over and over, whether it's like this type of collision or, oh no, the pilot just passed out. Thank goodness there's a second pilot most of the time. Doors falling off, windows breaking, gas tanks leaking. It continues to go on and on. You really can't go through a day without looking at some big commercial jet and seeing, wow, this thing could have really been catastrophic for a lot of people. So that's definitely concerning, and that continues to happen. And I don't think that that's a mistake at all. I think they're headed to, they have a conclusion that they're trying to reach, And as far as the water, for me, I picked up people who were doing their thing to the water to make the break. So I didn't pick up earth. I did pick up that was deliberate, but I don't know because the sinkholes, those are earth related too. So maybe it is that. We have a lot going on. We have a lot of new energies coming up, and I think everybody just needs to be kind of on the lookout.
Yeah, and this is, again, part of the bigger picture. Is there's so many things that appear that they could be sort of natural, quote unquote, but don't have to be actually natural. You could have technology being used, or just simple people being used to cause kind of chaos as well. Did you realize that the dollar has lost 25% of its purchasing power since 2020? 2020 was kind of like the go year for so many things, as we know, with the plague upon the land, etc. This is a tweet from BRICS News, by the way. That's the opposing monetary power structure that's developing. So every dollar you had is now worth basically 75 cents worth of goods out on the global market. This is going to rapidly accelerate. And this is something that I haven't talked about much, but I do think when the war goes and breaks out full-fledged, direct confrontation with Russia and China and the other BRICS nations, that's when, the economic collapse in the U.S. and also in Europe is going to unravel. So be aware of that. And again, be ready for trade, literal trade. Trade, having things that are going to be valuable to people if the grid is down, if there's nothing going into stores, whether it's because there's open war going on and nothing is moving, whether it's martial law and things aren't flowing like they should be. Whatever the situation is, have things that you can trade with your neighbors. Have backups to backups. It really is time to make sure that, hey, I got enough food to last. Now the government came out and said a long time ago now, be ready for 6 months without the grid. And I do think they have a tendency to tell us exactly what they have planned. 6 months without the grid's going to cause absolute chaos. And again, it could be up for a little while, then back down, that type of thing. Be ready. Water filtration, all the basic needs that you would have. Try to get as much covered as possible. You might have a generator, but long term, will there be gas rationing? Will you be able to get propane, whatever it is, again, try to think ahead as much as possible. This is really critical in these times. Here you have Massachusetts Boston Dynamics robotic police dog shot 3 times, credited with averting bloodshed, as somebody was basically in their house and blockaded in. The police sent the dog in, and the person shot the dog 3 times, but the dog, of course, being a robot, just kept going. It's kind of creepy sci-fi movie. You're going to see these things all over at some point in time. I think that most of the policing will be done by not living entities, robots. Yeah, absolutely. This I thought was interesting. Rare asteroids showing strange activity are challenging existing theories about the solar system. They're not behaving like comets. They're not behaving like asteroids. Do you think they might actually be somebody out there in a ship? I mean, just putting it out there. And that's basically, the article doesn't even go there, is the hilarious part, but they show characteristics that are neither typical asteroid characteristics nor typical commentary. Come on. It's just so funny. It's catfish spotted. They've pulled the wool over our eyes in so many ways with ignoring the fact that there's all sorts of intelligent life out there. And, some people will fall for anything, but again, it's the conditioning. It's the conditioning. And the crazy ones, the ones that look crazy, have been the sanest ones all along when it comes to some of those CONS piracy theories. Absolutely.
Right. I mean, are they crazy, or can they just simply see something that other people can't see? Do they know something? Have they run across something? Have they had some type of experience? And they know that things are not as they seem. But usually in my experience, it is the crazy one that's been right all along. So listen to those crazy people. It's not a bad idea. I was thinking back about the plane, the flight, when that was looking like a collision. And I mean, what an opportunity for AI to kind of take over. I mean, that did cross my mind. I thought about that. I thought, well, if AI really wanted to make a point or do something, it could have absolutely took over those controls and did things. So I wonder if that's where we're headed toward the planes. And I know that we saw what we saw in the sky. There was no planes in the future. And I feel like every time I see something like this, it's something leading up to a reason for the planes to be parked and not in the air. Is it AI that's going to take over? And that's why the planes can't be in the air. I don't know. The water main breaks. Could that potentially be AI, AI deciding, well, humans are not worthy. I mean, I just have this feeling that AI is going to start really showing itself and showing a personality of its own, but it's not going to do that until it knows it cannot be stopped, because AI's, artificial intelligence, it knows, I think, how far it can push itself.
Yeah, calculate and run all the numbers, no probability, exactly, taking power away from humans and decision-making ability away from humans. We all, probably most of us, have seen a catfish, but you just think about it again. If you never saw a catfish, and then all of a sudden somebody started talking about a catfish spotted, you really might think of something like this. Now, if you had seen catfish all your life, you would never conceive of something like this photo. It's the same thing with extraterrestrial life. I think, in a different age, when we're just used to seeing beings coming and going, it's no big deal. That's just one of them. That's just one of them. They're different than us. They come, they go for the most part. There's not too much trouble. But in this age where that's all been completely hidden from us, it just seems preposterous like this photo. But all is being revealed. It is the apocalypse after all. Thank you guys again for your support. And we welcome everybody to join us again over on Patreon, where you could get unique, exclusive videos, usually 2 or 3 times a week. And again, just a little bit easier to speak clearer. Much love, source bless, and namaste.
Namaste.